What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis coming to y'all with more analysis. We're going to talk about Cameron Thomas, a guy that a lot of people like in that first round. They look at him as a bucket getter, a guy that can come right in and contribute. But what I see is a guy that's far away, way more far away than you think of being an important player in the NBA level, especially when you look at his shot selection. He takes a lot of tough shots. Jump shot is nowhere near where it needs to be if you want to be able to score at the highest level, especially given the opportunity. A lot of people think that you can just pick them up in the draft, you'll be happy with them. We've seen a lot of guys like him similar throughout the last 20 years where you see them in college, they have the ball, they're in a situation where they have to put up shots, they have to be able to score. The team needs them, they don't have as much talent around them. But the NBA is just more different. I keep trying to tell my subscribers that because you're surrounded by more talent, you're surrounded by more capable players, and most of the time in his situation, you're surrounded by better players when you're coming into the league. So it's not as easy as people think to just look at somebody's college number and just put them in the NBA. It doesn't work like that. The way the game is played is totally different. The speed is different. The athleticism is different. The coverages that you have to do is totally different. Cameron Thompson is known as a guy that can score, but when you look at his college footage, when you look at his college numbers, he wasn't really efficient and really didn't take great shots. I think that would definitely change at the NBA level as he won't have to do a lot of those things unless he chooses to. Because it is guys that are in the NBA or close to it, even in the G League, that just like to take the tough ones. We done seen superstars do it where they don't mind taking them, they choose to take them, or they excel at taking them, or they just have that role where they just need to come in, get the shots going, be aggressive, and the team just loves it. But the thing with Cameron Thompson is he does have the 210 body. You do like that. He is 6'4", hopefully, because we won't really know until you really get measured by the NBA. Those things are going to be important for his game just because he uses his jump shot a lot more than a lot of other guards in this draft. They had a little bit more variety. They had a little bit more bag, being able to handle the ball, get to the paint floater. He shows signs of those things, but it's just not polished nowhere near where it needs to be if he wants to come in and be a high level, efficient, reliable guy. And efficiency is the thing that people kill him on. They kill him on his ability not to score consistently. And that's what you need to do if you want to be a contributor or you want to be a shot creator. Shot creators turn into playmakers because you create off your shots. People pay attention to you, they cover you different, and you read and react and make the right play. Sometimes it's you scoring, sometimes it's your teammate scoring, sometimes it's just making the right play, getting the ball out your hands so somebody can pass it to the guy that's open, and that will allow you to get, unassisted hockey assist, if you want to call it, or even an assist. And it does depend too on who your teammates and your style of play. If you get up and down, your shot selection be different. If you have a big, it'll be different. We don't know where he's exactly going to go just because the draft hasn't happened yet. But a lot of that do impact your style, your scoring, and your efficiency because you will get different looks, different opportunities to be able to score, especially to where you got in college where things are more tougher, more clogs, smaller 3-point line, less talent on the floor, less spacing on the floor. So you have to work harder, do a little bit more to score compared to being in the NBA where it is more spacing. The screens are a lot better. You get more room to get your first step, to be able to get to the rim, to be able to get to your floor, to be able to hit your mid range. So even sometimes if they go under, you get a chance to hit a wide open three. He's going to have to be able to do multiple of those things if he want to be able to be a legitimate dependable offensive player, especially at the NBA. He hasn't really showed enough of that in college. Maybe it is circumstance, maybe it is talent, maybe it is he just, didn't have it. But when I look at a lot of his shot selection, they are just way more tougher than they have to be. A lot of this is more or less mentality, more or less settling. I look at him as a guy that literally could have got a better shot or just had a better opportunity, whether it was passing it, giving it up, or just turning down that shot. And when you're taking shots like that, the coach do not like that. They only like that if your team is super duper bad. But when you're getting drafted later in the first round, most of the teams already have the guards. Most of the teams already have the star players, or most of the team already have the guys that are going to be at your position. So you also have to work your way up to earn that respect and pass those guys, or they will have to change their roster dramatically while you're on the roster to give you the opportunity, or you're just going to have to be better than the guy flat out to get that opportunity. And that's the situation he's going to be in, since he's not really seen as a lottery pick. When you're in the lottery, teams need the talent, teams need the help, and teams will give you the opportunity because they don't have the necessary talent for the most part. When you get drafted later in the draft, teams already have the established stars. They already have a playoff ready starting lineup. That's why they won more games. That's why they don't need you as much as the teams at the top, because they already have their winning formula and their winning players and system. So Cameron Thompson got a lot to work on when it comes to just having the right reads. You know, you can't really just dribble and just force up a shot. It's just not going to happen in the NBA level when you're a rookie. And that's what probably one of the biggest things that I disagree with him as a guy that's going to be an instant bucket. A coach is not really going to live with you, especially when you're on a better team, just coming in, jacking up a bunch of shots throughout the entire game, or when you're on the court, you're not going to get minutes. You're not going to really be able to make an impact. And if you is on the court, you want to impress the coach so that way you can get minutes and you can move up in the rotation. But when you look at what he did in college, it's just not going to happen in the NBA. Guys are more longer, guys are more taller, guys help a lot better, bigs come up, bigs drop down. And if you don't want to take the easy shot or you don't want to get a better shot, then you're not just going to play. You're not going to be able to play at all, especially when you're going to a better team that don't really need you as much anyway. So for me, he's just going to have to really understand and be more patient. When you're coming off screens, when you're trying to create a shot, let the offense come more to you. Don't feel like you have to do too much or you have to do too much creation. Just do the simple play. Come off a screen, dribble, read the floor, hit a jumper. Dribble, they come up, dribble right around them, lay it up, float it. Number two, when you're coming off the screen or you're dribbling, make sure you're reading where the guys are at on the left and the right of you, because they're going to help. They're going to rotate to stop you from being able to get penetration, or they're going to allow you to take the mid-range jumper. Remember, in this era, in this day of game, they want you to take mid-range jumpers. Not too many players are elite. Not too many players are efficient, especially rookies, especially out of the gate at the mid-range stop and pop or even the floater range. And he struggled with that at the college level. It's going to be more harder when you're playing against more experienced, more smarter, more gear-focused defenses, because teams scout you, teams prepare for you, and teams going to get you out of your comfort zone, because that's the whole point of defense. So when I look at a guy like Cameron Thomas, I can see why he's lower to other guards in this draft. He still does have potential to be something special, whether it's a spark plug, whether it's a six man, whether if it's just a guy that can be a starter that you can run offense through in the future. I don't really see it as a plug in. He's going to do it right away, just because when I look at his game, it's just too difficult. A lot of the stuff is not coming easy. A lot of the stuff is not smart shot selection, especially when you're on better teams and you're trying to earn respect in minutes as a rookie. So to me, he's just going to have to read the game a little bit different. Definitely work on his pull-up game and also his patience, making sure he can get a better to great shot, making sure he can make the right play when he has a shot, and sometimes just turning down shots for the better pass, for the better read, just because you're just trying to create something that's not there. And if you're not making them, you're not going to get playing time, because there's really no point when they can give it to somebody else that can do it. So to me, he's going to be a guy that you're going to be a little stern on. He's going to be a guy that you're going to have some growing pains with as a coach and as a player. But ultimately, it's just to help him. You're not really trying to punish him. You're not trying to kill his confidence. You're just trying to help him mature and really just play the game the right way, while also upping his efficiency, turning down the bad, the ugly, and taking more of the good to great. And if he can do more of that, and he can really learn more of that. That's going to take coaching. That's going to take personnel to be able to get to that level. He probably could be a legitimate starter. Probably could be a legitimate scorer in the league, but he's going to have to get rid of a lot of the bad and a lot of the ugly, which is it's a mentality thing. It's a mental thing. That's why I bring it up, because you have that confidence and that swagger that you can make it. You have that swagger and that confidence that you can take it. But it's different when it's going in and not. We want it to go in. We don't want it not to go in, and that's a huge way to boost your efficiency, is turning them down or trying to be a little bit more patient to get something better, and that will raise your efficiency. That will give you more respect around the league because you're making them, and that give you more love and trust from your coaches and your teammates, and that can help you be a star in the league. Quinn Wade, I'm gone. I'll be back again.